Remember those weekly Antigo police and Langlade sheriff reports you shared with
I
us?
do, yeah. Quite the stack.
Well, welcome everyone to the deep dive. We're not just glancing through documents here. We take your sources, like these reports, and really dig into the incredible, sometimes kind of bizarre stories they tell about our local communities.
Mm-hmm.
This is really your exclusive peek behind the curtain, you know? Straight from your official records. Think of it like sharing the best local gossip over coffee, but it's all right there in the reports.
It really is fascinating, isn't it, how these seemingly dry logs, these administrative things, when you really look closely, they just come alive. They become this chronicle of a community's daily pulse.
Totally.
You get everything, the routine stuff, the truly unexpected moments, it's all in there.
Absolutely. And our mission today really is to sift through these reports, the ones you gave us, and pull out the wild stuff, the weird stuff, and those moments that just scream small town life, you know?
The classic.
Exactly. We're going to tease out some great stories, mention raids you drive every day, landmarks you know, Neva Road, US 45.
Right.
And yeah, we'll throw in just enough cheeky commentary.
Keep it interesting.
Keep it interesting. And like always, no names, no addresses, just that candid look at what really happens day to day that, let's be honest, we're all a bit curious about, all from the official records you provided. So, let's dive right into Antigo, shall we? What's unfolding there?
Well, these Antigo reports, they give you such a close-up view. It's that granular level of what local law enforcement is dealing with day in, day out.
Right.
And what people sometimes miss is it's not just the big incidents. They log everything.
Okay.
All the minor stuff, too. And that's what really paints the picture of, the community's rhythm.
And what a rhythm it is in Antigo. I mean, these reports, week after week, they're this perfect mix of just everyday stuff and things that make you go, huh. So, to kick us off, we've got one I'm calling the Midnight Music Lover. Okay, so June 10th, really late, like 1:50 a.m., near the subway. You know the one on 465 State Road 64? Yep.
Call comes in about suspicious activity in the parking lot. What do you think it turned out to be? Someone just listening to music in their car.
Right. And, while a late-night playlist might seem like nothing, from a law enforcement perspective, checking it out is part of maintaining that sense of security.
Sure, makes sense.
It's about responding to concerns, even if it turns out totally benign, like someone just vibing in the parking lot. It shows they're, vigilant.
Vigilant, yeah. So quiet activities can raise an eyebrow sometimes, but what about when things get louder? This one, oh man, this next noise complaint is just amazing. This is the case of the singing neighbor.
Oh, I think I remember this one.
June 13th, almost midnight, 11:43 p.m. Call from Pine Street. Loud music, okay, standard enough. But the source,
Yeah.
a neighbor playing, get this, rock versions of Disney music.
I chuckle slightly. No way.
Yes, wait. Rock Disney. You absolutely cannot make this stuff up. What a playlist for a Friday night in Antigo. Just classic.
That specific entry, it just perfectly captures the delightful weirdness you find in these reports, doesn't it? It really does.
It's relatable who hasn't been annoyed by loud music. But then the detail, the Disney rock, it's just so unexpected, so memorable. It reminds you disruptions aren't always, the usual suspects.
Exactly. And speaking of unusual dedication,
Yeah.
you got to hear about the dedicated chicken enthusiasts.
Okay.
So June 14th, just after midnight, 12:06 a.m., at the Fast Stop on 2300 Neva Road, another suspicious activity call. Dumpster diving, basically. But why? Turns out the person was just collecting food scraps to feed their chickens.
Resourceful.
Talk about dedication to your flock. Right, middle of night, gathering snacks. Antigo folks are truly committed, I tell you.
And it really shows how something that looks suspicious at first glance is often just someone living their life, maybe unconventionally, but totally harmlessly.
Right.
It's about resourcefulness, not necessarily anything sinister. It really challenges those quick judgments we make.
Okay, so moving on from late night antics to a few more mysteries and oddities that popped up in Antigo. This one's the vanishing vehicle.
Ooh, intriguing.
So June 11th evening, 7:36 p.m., intersection of Neva Road and Century Avenue. A car breaks down right in the middle of the road, blocking a lane. Standard motorist assist call, right?
Seems like it.
But later, the car is found empty in a Walgreens parking spot hereby. It just disappeared from the intersection. How does that happen so fast?
Wow, these brief entries often just capture a moment in time, don't they?
It's true.
So a car blocking traffic, then found, moved, It suggests someone acted fast, maybe a friend helped push it, or a quick tow arrived before the official report could get the whole story. It shows how sometimes things get resolved informally.
Yeah.
Community helping out.
Yeah, maybe. Still kind of weird, though.
Yeah.
Okay, now for the Castle Park enigma. Juneteenth, mid-afternoon, 2:46 p.m., Castle Park, 440 Field Street. Someone reports hearing a voice from the middle stall in the restroom.
Okay.
But no one seems to be there. Then about an hour later, someone is seen leaving the bathroom, t-shirt, jeans, and they head off towards Anytime Fitness. A voice from an empty stall. A mysterious departure. The mind reels.
Yeah, that type of report leaves a lot open. It's just a snapshot, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Something someone saw or heard but didn't fully understand.
Right.
It's those little unexplained moments of daily life. A simple observation that sounds, well, enigmatic when written down like that.
For sure. And this next one, this took a turn. I'm calling it the unexpected ride. June 10th, early morning, 2:10 a.m., corner of Superior and Irving Street. Starts as a simple traffic stop. Hey, buddy, turn your lights on.
Standard procedure.
Totally standard. But then the report says the individual was, and I quote, subsequently transported by EMS to a different town.
Whoa.
Yeah, from a turn your lights on stop to an ambulance ride out of town. That escalated quickly.
It really did. And that just shows how unpredictable these street-level encounters can be, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
An officer pulls someone over for one thing, and suddenly it becomes a medical situation or something else entirely. They have to assess quickly and get the right help, whether that's, a warning ticket or, like here, emergency medical services. It really underscores how many different hats they wear.
Definitely more than just writing tickets. Now, besides these kind of standout moments, Antigo life, according to your reports, is also full of just normal stuff. Things that really paint that community picture.
The everyday fabric.
Exactly. Like an officer helped out with a funeral procession that was leaving Bradley's corner of 5th Ave and Superior on June 10th. Just a quiet moment of respect. Lots of people locking keys in cars happened at the Dollar Tree on State Road 64, over at Menards on Jerome Street. We've all been there.
Relatable. Yep.
Then you had some civil stuff, a property inspector having a fence dispute, an antiques collector who signed a contract but apparently only stayed a week.
Little dramas.
Little traumas. And my favorite, this was nice on Smith Ave and Edison Street. Officers helped someone walking their dog who got a bit lost. Didn't know how to get home. Neighbors chipped in too, got them back safe.
See, those routine entries, they're really the foundation of these reports. They show the predictable stuff, minor disputes, people needing a hand, but also that supportive side, the interconnectedness, law enforcement stepping in, neighbors helping out. That's small-town life.
Totally. Okay, let's shift gears now. Let's head out into the wider Langlade County area. The reports there seem to paint a slightly, well, maybe wilder picture. More sprawling incidents.
Yeah, the county reports definitely bring in a different element. Bigger area, more woods, more open space.
More critters.
Exactly. You definitely see more human-wildlife interactions. Comes with its own set of unique challenges. And sometimes pretty fascinating stories.
Oh, for sure. And speaking of nature, we have to start with this one. The Great Bear Maneuver.
Anticipating, okay.
June 16th, early morning, 6:08 a.m., County Road S and Grunberg Road. Vehicle swerves to miss a bear. Okay, happens, right? Goes into the ditch. But get this, they managed to drive out of the ditch.
Wow, lucky.
Super lucky, except they lost their generator in the process. Swerve for a bear, lost a generator. Only in Langlade County, right? What a morning commute story.
That is just the quintessential rural incident, isn't it?
Totally.
It perfectly shows that constant interaction, human and wildlife, and sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has unexpected, maybe costly consequences.
Yeah.
A good reminder that driving out here has risks beyond just other cars.
Definitely. And speaking of wildlife, your reports show deer are definitely making themselves known. Lots of deer versus car incidents.
Always a concern.
Yeah, State Road 55 near Hollister Road, US 45 in Popple Lane, State Road 64 and Ackley Road. Seems like several on 64 and Ackley, actually. There's one on June 16th there. The driver hit the deer and left, apparently.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and the report says the deer kept getting up and walking around. Poor thing. Ended up having to be dispatched. Sad, but, a reality out here.
It is. And those reports, even though they're common in rural areas, they're a stark reminder, aren't they?
Yeah.
Coexisting with wildlife on roads designed for cars. It's an ongoing challenge, a constant risk.
Yeah, and it's not just deer causing a stir. We had some horse escapades, too. Spring Lake Road, June 11th, around 7 p.m. A report comes in. 2 white horses escaped from a property.
Runaways.
Runaways. But don't worry, they responded later and got back home safe. So not just the wild animals, even the domesticated ones go exploring sometimes. Kind of charming, really, if a bit chaotic.
Those lighter animal calls, they do add a bit of that country charm to the weekly log, don't they?
They do.
Reminds you of the agricultural side of the county. And yeah, sometimes the residents, the four-legged ones, decide to take a little field trip.
Right. Okay, moving from animals to human dramas and weird happenings in the county. First up, the road rage countercomplaint. This one's a doozy.
Okay, road rage, always complicated.
So June 11th, early evening, 6:49 p.m., County Road K and Fish Lane. Traffic complaint comes in. The person complaining even sent pictures and admitted they were following the vehicle.
Following. Okay.
But the driver they complained about, they talked to the cops and say, nope, didn't pass anyone like that on Monday. But they say they did see someone else driving recklessly the day before.
Oh, wow. The plot thickens.
Right. It's the classic highway, he said, she said. Who is really doing what? Good luck sorting that one out.
And that's what's so interesting there, isn't it? How fast a simple complaint turns into this whole tangled mess. Different stories, different days.
Totally.
It perfectly captures that everyday drama, those little conflicts. And you see the challenge for law enforcement trying to piece together what actually happened from subjective accounts. Rarely straightforward.
Not at all. Okay, then we have the storage unit confrontation, June 12th, late afternoon, 5:1 MeV PM, US 45, at some storage units. Report says someone punched the driver's side mirror off a vehicle.
Punched it. Ouch.
Yeah, and then just took off in a blue Chevy Silverado. Oh, and the report notes the truck had an invalid license. Smash mirror, quick getaway. Sounds almost like a movie scene, right there in US 45.
It gives you that glimpse into the more direct conflicts, doesn't it? Things can get heated. It shows the range of situations they respond to way beyond just traffic stops or loose horses. A real moment of tension there.
For sure. And this next one, oh, this is just delightful. From County Road J, late night, June 12th, 11:40 p.m. Ready. The phantom snore and the bear.
Intrigue. The phantom snore.
Yes. Caller hears something outside. Sounds like snoring.
Snoring. Okay.
A neighbor chimes in, suggests maybe it's a large bear in the area. Big bear snoring. Plausible, I guess?
Maybe. Bears do make weird noises.
So officers check it out, walk the property, find absolutely nothing. No bears, no people, no snoring.
Huh.
So what was it? A bear? A neighbor creeping around? Or just, someone's imagination running wild after hearing death stories? We'll probably never know.
That's a perfect example of perception versus reality, isn't it?
Totally.
You mix a weird sound with local folklore, big bear in the area, and suddenly you've got a potential mystery. Even if the official check finds nothing, it shows how suggestion works in a community, how everyday sounds can spark these little moments of, well, maybe unfounded concern.
Definitely a good story, though. Okay, your reports also show the county roads see some real speed demons. The speed demons of the county seem to be a recurring theme.
Yeah, that comes up a lot.
Numerous complaints about erratic speeding drivers. Often, by the time an officer can get there, they're gone. Poof.
The challenge of vast areas.
Right. We heard about a silver Dodge Ram doing 80-100 miles per hour on US 45 near Huggies Road. A silver SUV swerving all over US 45 near Old 26 Road.
Wow.
A black Subaru sports car with a wing, the report notes speeding on County Road near Kramer Road, and a black Porsche SUV, Illinois plates, doing upwards of 100 miles per hour back on US 45 and Old 26 Road.
That's seriously fast.
Seriously fast. These folks are out there definitely worrying people, but yeah, hard to catch sometimes.
And it really underscores that challenge, doesn't it? Patrolling huge stretches of highway. Aggressive driving is a constant issue, and the volume of those calls shows it's a real community concern, a major safety challenge.
No doubt. And just rounding out the week for Langlade County, a couple more intriguing incidents. One was a single car accident, County Road AA and Forest Road, really early, 2:33 a.m. on June 14th. Car ended up somewhat in the woods, backing on stumps.
Oh.
Yeah, occupant got out okay, but it led to someone being taken into custody, so more going on there. And then a pretty significant burglary on Enterprise Lake Road, morning of June 14th. Cabin's sliding glass door smashed.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and they had footage. Showed two individuals and their ATV with a trailer taking stuff from the garage. Good news is, sounds like they caught someone later.
Well, those incidents show the more serious side of things, obviously.
Right.
From dealing with complex crash scenes in the middle of the night to doing the detective work needed to solve burglaries, it reminds you of the full scope, the critical responsibilities they handle every day.
Okay, so let's step back. Let's unpack all this. Looking at this whole week, Antigo, Langlade County, based on these reports you shared, what's the big picture? What does this weekly chronicle really tell us about life around here?
Well, what's really striking is the rich tapestry these reports weave together. It's not just a list of police calls. It becomes this living document, really.
Yeah.
It gives you this incredibly unique window into the daily rhythms of the community. The predictable stuff, sure, but also the unexpected challenges, the little moments,
Yeah.
the common threads that actually, bind the place together. You see the community's character reflected in these official logs.
And it's all happening right here on streets we know: Neva Road, US 45, State Road 64, Pine Street. From just, mundane traffic stuff to bears losing generators and midnight Disney rock concerts. These aren't just abstract stats. It's life unfolding right around us week by week.
And it makes you think, doesn't it? How do all these interactions, even the small ones, the weird ones, how do they reflect the unique flavor of this place, this rural community?
Right.
You see things like the constant wildlife encounters treated as just part of life, normal. You see that quick, informal, neighborly help, like with the lost dog walker. It's this blend of specific rural challenges and this strong, almost unseen network of people looking out for each other. Things you might not see as clearly in a bigger city, maybe.
Yeah.
It's all there in your sources.
And that's exactly why digging into these reports, your reports, is such a great way to stay plugged in locally. It's way more telling than just headlines or numbers. You really get the texture, the real feel of the community you're in.
A shortcut to being informed, in a way.
Totally. So, wrapping up, what does all this mean for you, our listener? As you're having your coffee, thinking about the week's local buzz, what's the takeaway?
I think connecting it to that bigger picture, it's really about appreciating the unpredictable pulse of where we live. Even in seemingly quiet towns, life is always buzzing with surprises. The everyday stuff often bumps right up against the truly memorable, the truly weird. You just have to know where to look, or, I guess, what reports to read. It highlights that every place, no matter the size, has this constant, vibrant story unfolding.
Love that. And for our moral of the week, then, from Antigo, and Langlade County, I think it's pretty clear. Keep your eyes peeled, keep your ears open,
Yeah, cool.
and maybe, just maybe, think twice before calling in suspicious activity. It might just be someone rocking out to Disney tunes at midnight or, gathering dumpster snacks for their chickens. You never know what local gem, what little slice of life you might uncover when you dig into those official records.
Well said.
Thanks, everyone, for diving deep with us into the heart of Antigo and Langlade County, all thanks to the reports you provided. Until next time, stay curious.